Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person.
Sunny Hostin, who I think is truly the nastiest woman on television and a genuine racist and not that bright, despite her law degree and everything.
Imagine kicking off your day with the usual routine, coffee in one hand, phone in the other, scrolling through the latest news. Then, wham, a headline featuring Sunny Hostin grabs your attention. But it's not her usual fiery debates on The View making waves. It's her husband, Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin. This isn't just any news, it's a bombshell.
And thinking about that, and Donald Trump saying things that this country would be a meritocracy, you're talking about a man who didn't become the president of the United States because of merit.
Dr. Hostin, a renowned orthopedic surgeon and the head of Hostin Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, is smack in the middle of a massive scandal. Picture this: accusations of insurance fraud, illegal kickbacks, and, brace yourselves, he's tangled up in a gargantuan lawsuit under the RICO Act. And this lawsuit isn't just big, it's a legal blockbuster involving no fewer than 180 defendants. But before we delve deeper into this tempest, smash that like button and hit subscribe to stay updated on this explosive story and other sensational content. Let's break it down. Originally crafted to combat organized crime, think notorious mob bosses and shadowy figures, the RICO Act is taking a dramatic turn. This time, it's not gangsters in the spotlight, it's doctors in medical practices. Imagine it. Courtroom drama now feels more like an episode of Grey's Anatomy, where fraud, not love triangles, steals the spotlight. According to the lawsuit, Dr. Hostin and his associates are accused of concocting a scheme to exploit the healthcare system. What's the scoop?
Search out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say.
Allegedly, they took kickbacks for unnecessary surgeries and billed insurance companies for procedures that might never have even occurred. Picture this: patients being operated on, insurance companies footing enormous bills, and cash being tossed around like chips in a high-stakes poker match. Let's dig into the juicy details of this lawsuit, because trust me, it's a doozy. Dr. Hostin is implicated in cashing in on arthroscopic surgeries, those minimally invasive procedures that are supposed to be straightforward, right? Here's the twist: some of these surgeries might not have been needed at all. Were these patients truly in need of medical intervention, or was it all a chase for the almighty dollar? If these allegations hold up, this could be one of the most egregious betrayals of trust in medical history. Seriously, it makes the drama on soap operas look tame by comparison. Imagine entrusting your health to a doctor, only to discover you're just a pawn in a money-making racket.
Husband for The View host, Sunny Hostin, has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance. What? And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence.
And it doesn't stop at unnecessary surgeries. The lawsuit also alleges that these procedures were part of a kickback scheme. Yes, fraudulent medical services supposedly exchanged for financial incentives. Dr. Hostin, for instance, is accused of profiting from these needless operations, often performed on taxi, Uber, and Lyft drivers. If these allegations prove true, they could permanently alter public trust in healthcare. But wait, there's another twist. The other side of this lawsuit is equally compelling. The American Transit Insurance Company, or ADCT, the plaintiff, claims they've been bilked out of millions. They allege they were charged for surgeries that either never occurred or were unnecessary. Imagine shelling out for a lavish steak dinner and being served a disappointing plate of tofu instead. Now, let's be clear, insurance companies aren't exactly angels. They've been accused of underpaying doctors, denying claims, and exploiting every loophole to avoid payouts. So, the burning question is ADCT genuinely exposing a massive healthcare fraud, or are they just a floundering company trying to deflect their own financial woes? According to a revelation by Page 6, Dr. Emmanuel Hostin, the orthopedic surgeon, is among 200 defendants and is snared in what's being dubbed the largest RICO case ever filed in New York. The charges include federal insurance fraud and allegedly accepting kickbacks for surgeries charged to insurance providers for taxi, Uber, and Lyft drivers.
my whole life for this one. Orthopedic surgeon and husband for The View host Sunny Hostin has been named in a federal lawsuit alleging insurance fraud. She got on television. She got in. She run these women. Tell me why she got her husband is named in a lawsuit in insurance fraud, and I'm gonna show you exhibit. Let me say exhibit B. Can you show this to the jury? Roll it, Nick.
You know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband, you know, operates on someone even though they don't have insurance. What? And they're talking about threatening him with insurance fraud. I would say you could get about 20 years in prison, so that's a death sentence for him.
Daniel Thwaites, not one to mince words, slammed the lawsuit as a desperate and baseless attempt by ADCT to salvage their financial ruin. Thwaites argues that the company is teetering on the edge of collapse and is attempting to pin the failures on others. It's a classic defense tactic. When under attack, flip the script and paint the accuser as the villain. But things heated up when Joe Rogan weighed in. The podcast king didn't hold back, putting The View squarely in his crosshairs. Rogan called out Sunny Hostin for what he saw as hypocrisy, criticizing her for seemingly judging others as if she herself were without flaws, all while her husband's alleged shady business simmered in the background. Rogan didn't pull any punches. He blasted The View as utterly foolish, even quipping that if you total the IQs of all the hosts, you might still fall short of hitting triple digits. Harsh, right? Rogan kept the fire burning, labeling The View as the show people love to despise. He highlighted how its viral clips are often packed with controversial or downright absurd remarks, describing it as a rabies-infested henhouse that viewers can't look away from. Joe Rogan's fans reveled in every moment of his tirade, but shifting back to the Hostins, while Dr. Hostin fights to clear his name in court, Sunny Hostin has been notably silent. Odd, isn't it? Sunny is usually the first to dive into controversies on The View, yet with her husband's scandal brewing, she hasn't said a word. What's behind the silence? Is she supporting him from the shadows, safeguarding her own image, or perhaps she's waiting for the go-ahead from her legal team before making a statement? Fans are divided. Some think she's keeping quiet to dodge becoming the next big story, while others suspect she's just playing it safe. Whatever the reason, Sunny Hostin's silence speaks volumes right now. But let's get this straight. This scandal isn't just about Dr. Hostin. He's merely a part of a colossal puzzle. This lawsuit involves a staggering 180 defendants, including various doctors, medical practices, and even hospitals.
Sunny Hostin, who I think is truly the nastiest woman on television and a genuine racist and not that bright, despite her law degree and everything else. She found out a little bit, you know these TV shows where they tell you a little bit about your family history and your ancestry. She found out some stuff about her ancestors that, well, take a look.
Wow, I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children. Mm-hmm. To know this information. I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of others.
Her genealogy test came back negative. Yeah, she's related to slaveholders. What are we?
These allegations hold up, we could be looking at one of the largest medical fraud cases in recent history. An entire network allegedly exploited the system, raking in millions. The charges against Dr. Hostin are grave. He's accused of federal insurance fraud, allegedly providing bogus medical services in return for kickbacks and a hefty sum of extra cash. Now, focusing on Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin, a distinguished orthopedic surgeon and husband of The View co-host Sunny Tin, his name surfaced in a December lawsuit casting a shadow over his reputation. According to the Daily Caller, Dr. Hostin is allegedly wrapped up in fraudulent billing practices. The lawsuit accuses him of conducting unnecessary surgeries on patients who suffered minor accidents, bypassing less invasive options. The American Transit Insurance Company has highlighted New York's 1974 no-fault law, claiming it has laid the groundwork for rampant insurance fraud. However, Dr. Hostin's attorney Daniel Thwaites fiercely contests these claims. He has dismissed the lawsuit as a desperate and baseless ploy by ADCT, a company teetering on the brink of bankruptcy. According to AID-CT, they're ensnared in a massive fraud scheme characterized by unnecessary medical procedures and falsified billing, resembling the plot of a high-stakes heist movie. However, unlike typical heists, the target is banks. The alleged crime here involves siphoning funds from insurance premiums. This situation raises a critical question. How can the public maintain trust in a healthcare system that appears to put profits before patient care? When healthcare providers and insurance companies prioritize financial gain over genuine assistance, it's inevitable that patient trust erodes. The prospect of entering a doctor's office should evoke feelings of safety and care, not the fear of falling into a financial trap. Moreover, there's a concerning possibility that AID-CT is leveraging this lawsuit to mask its own financial instability. If this is true, their actions could be worsening an already problematic scenario, adding layers of deception and mistrust to the fray. The complexities of this case create a tangled web, making the truth elusive and difficult to discern. It's important to note that Dr. Hostin has not been found guilty.
Not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and it was totally baked and half baked, and you went on stage with it, and it's nothing.
Just
there.
go for it. Yeah.
These are merely allegations at this stage. Nevertheless, the impending courtroom showdown promises to be a significant event, with each party preparing for a vigorous battle. As observers, our role is to watch the drama unfold, attempting to distinguish between reality and fabrication, innocence and guilt. This lawsuit has already highlighted some unsettling truths about the motivations and practices within both the healthcare and insurance industries, sparking a broader conversation about ethical standards and accountability. Recently, Sunny decided it was time to break her silence and step off the sidelines. She's come forward to defend her husband, pointing out that the plaintiff, American Transit, an insurance company known for serving rideshare drivers, has a history of lodging frivolous lawsuits. For those itching to understand the full scope of this legal tempest involving Sunny and Manny, let's delve into the details. Who exactly is Dr. Emmanuel Manny Hostin? Manny is a celebrated orthopedic surgeon based in New York City, with a robust 29 years of experience under his belt. He earned his medical degree from the esteemed Johns Hopkins School of Medicine in 1996, and in 2006, he opened his own practice, Hostin Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, located in Manhattan. Turning to his personal life, Manny has been married to Sunny since 1998, and they have 2 children. Their son Gabriel is currently a student at Harvard, while their daughter Paloma studies at Cornell. But hang tight, we'll dive deeper into Manny's background and his relationship with The View co-host Sunny Tin shortly. So what exactly is Dr. Emmanuel Hostin being accused of? Here's the scoop. Dr. Hostin is facing some hefty allegations. The lawsuit alleges that he's been conducting fraudulent medical services, including unnecessary arthroscopic surgeries at his practice, Hostin Orthopedics. And that's just the beginning. He's also charged with billing American Transit for these services, even though they might not have been necessary. But hold on, it gets even more troubling.
He was performing unnecessary surgeries and then providing fraudulent medical services in exchange for the kickbacks. Here's a clip I want you guys to see of Sunny Hostin on The View, Tom, basically implicating her husband in this type of a scheme.
Only about 31% of Americans trust our healthcare system. We have a terrible healthcare system. And, you know, doctors suffer because of big corporations as well. Doctors that want to do good, like my husband.
The lawsuit suggests he did all this to obtain kickbacks and other forms of compensation, allegedly as dividends or cash payments. Dr. Hostin, of course, vehemently denies all these claims. What has Dr. Emmanuel Hostin said about the lawsuit? Dr. Hostin hasn't made any public statements himself, but his attorney Daniel John Thwaites is speaking on his behalf. Thwaites told the Daily Mail that his client completely rejects every allegation put forth in the lawsuit. He described the lawsuit as a baseless attack by an insurance company teetering on the edge of bankruptcy. Thwaites argues that this lawsuit is essentially a scare tactic to intimidate doctors who have provided care to patients insured by American Transit. He claims that American Transit hastily filed a lawsuit without prior discussions with Dr. Hostin or his legal representatives. Thwaites contends that the core issue here is the insurance company's manipulation of the legal system to cut healthcare benefits and dodge their financial responsibilities.
A different direction. But I love the fact that, you know, Manny is younger and he's
How much younger is he?
Just a little bit.
He's like 1 year, isn't he? Like a month or a year or 10 years?
5 years. It's more than a year.
Oh.
Anyway, it's not about me.
So, what has Sunny Hostin said about the lawsuit? Sunny Hostin didn't mince words when she responded to the lawsuit against her husband. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, she denounced the entire ordeal as a frivolous civil lawsuit targeting her husband and nearly 200 other doctors. She criticized American Transit for attempting to manipulate public opinion, alleging that the insurance company exploited her celebrity status to initiate a vile smear campaign against her family. She even accused them of spreading her family's photos across tabloid magazines. Sunny made it clear this attack isn't just directed at her husband. American Transit is also targeting her and her loved ones to share their financial obligations. She firmly stated, "Our family will not be intimidated or harassed. We remain steadfast." Sunny confirmed that she has enlisted high-profile attorney Mark Gagos for her defense. She's standing her ground and has put American Transit on notice, planning to file a counter-lawsuit seeking $5 million for the defamatory actions. According to her, this amount might increase as the full extent of their damage becomes apparent. But Sunny's demands are straightforward. She wants the false allegations withdrawn, her husband compensated fairly, and a formal public apology from American Transit.